Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Success is Dope podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Watlington, and I'm excited today. I'm excited today because I have as an honored guest a brother who I met some years back, and I have admired from afar and have admired in person because he's just um, the impact and the power that he exudes when he's in front of a stage and when he's in front of people is phenomenal. I mean, you can't help but feel electrified and energetic when you're around him. Okay, I'm talking about nobody else but the one and only Mr. Richard Hardon. How you doing?
Man, I am fantastic, phenomenal. I think if I got any better, I think somebody would be trying to set me up.
Oh man, listen, I love it. I love it. I love it. Hopefully your day is great. And it sounds like it is going great. And thanks for coming on. The reason why I wanted to have Mr. Harden on is because um I believe in with the podcast being called Success is Dope. It's dope being diligently optimizing potential every day. He personifies that and everything that he does that I've seen him do and what he wants to help others learn how to do as well. So he is a business transformation expert, motivational speaker, and anything to do with exponentially expanding yourself personally and business wise. This is your go-to guy right here. So with that being said, what is your definition of success?
Ooh, so success is not my personal definition. I had to steal one. But
Okay.
it's, Earl Nightingale gives you that success is progressive realization of a worthy goal.
Mm.
And the thing that I love about that definition, I learned it back in my 20s, was it always means as long as you're working towards something you're worthy of, you're successful and being filled with that kind of success. Because there are some things I think, Brandon, if you look at, especially the generation that's coming up right now, where there's a lot of confusion about what it means to be successful. And a lot of it is based on achievement of a certain level or a certain rank. But when you get to that rank, are you still successful? In my opinion, as long as you're full of success and you've set a new worthier goal, you're
Right.
successful. And but here's the counterpoint. I think most of the systems that we judge success by, that we're taught in our processes, actually mislabel process. I got a really strong formal education, meaning from my 8th grade through my senior year, Brandon, I made no grades below 93 because academic success was strongly, I won't say it was strongly emphasized. I won't say it was the only consideration because my dad was an entrepreneur and we were always taught to own businesses, but academic excellence was a measure of success. And then we go off to Duke University, and at Duke I was a double major, so electrical engineering, computer science, hard courses, and it was always in school is pass fail. Right? You either making A's, your answer's either right or it's wrong.
Right.
So the subconscious conditioning in an academic success formula is that success is over here and failure is over here. And the way you avoid failure or avoid else is you go that way. But if you think about the things that we're most successful in life, the most successful people in the world actually fail the most often. Because that's the map. It's not that success is over here, failure is over here. No, failure is a path. It's a part of the success process. If you're not doing something that's more than something you did, if you're not failing at some point forward that way every day, you're actually not creating success. So
Wow.
that was a long answer, wasn't it?
No, I listen. I love it. I love it. It reminds me of I remember one of my favorite speakers, Les Brown, always would say and still says, "You will fail your way to success."
That part. That's my dude too. I just saw Uncle Les in April. He came to the Toastmasters conference I was speaking at.
Really?
So it's one of those things where at 77 years old, get this, he's 77 now. And I've been such a fan of Les Brown for so long. I got his tapes. Like I pointed to the box because I had an actual disagreement with my office organizer. She said, because I had a whole library that
Uh-huh.
was all the motivational tapes I would listen to going through, and Les Brown Live Your Dreams is one of them. And I had a whole shelf that was those things, but I was running out of space with my library and other stuff here, like in my office. And she
Hmm.
said, well, you don't even have something to listen to these tapes. But I said, if I didn't have these tapes, I wouldn't have this house or this office.
Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Now, we did make the agreement they're in a box. I'm not throwing that box away.
Right. Listen, that has so much value to you. It's
Exactly.
it's valuable to you, and I totally understand that. That was one of my first mentors when I was my mom introduced me to him when I was like 8 years old. I had no clue what was going on.
What
But
an
as I
insightful
got
woman.
older, it started to click, and he's phenomenal. Armed and Dangerous is one of my favorite presentations he's ever given. By the way,
Okay, the young lady.
no,
What's
no,
her
it's the
name?
one where he was at Manpower for Bishop T.D. Jakes,
Oh, no, but
and
it's
that
one of
one right there is
but it's one of his protege is the young lady that doesn't have arms, but hers is called Unarmed and
ooh,
Dangerous.
okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. Then okay, look, I'm writing that down. Unarmed and dangerous. Okay, well then check that out. Now, Richard. Now you said something. Now, you said something that was really hit me because I have been. So I believe every coach should have a coach. So as being a life, as being a personal development coach and a business coach, I
Mm-hmm.
have my own coach as well. And the coach that I've been working with, he says something because we always try to figure out work-life balance, with, especially for children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he said, everybody is concerned about um, watching your kids play and watching your kids do things. And he said, you should be more concerned about your children watching you do work,
Dad,
watch what you do.
come on, man.
And so you said your dad was an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
How influential was that to you becoming who you are now?
It's defining. Like it's one of those things that like the blessing. And it's one of those things I still think about and talk to my dad often. And sometimes, I wish I could show him what's happening now because dad, unfortunately, he passed in 2020. So it's only been 2 years ago that my dad passed, but he was also Richard Hardon. So he gave me his name and he gave us his work ethic. I have a younger brother, Chuck. We've been partners in business our whole lives, meaning we started my first job. Like I have social security payments dating back to age 10. I was on my dad's
Wow.
payroll.
What? Say that again. You were what?
I was 10 years old.
And you were on your
And
dad's payroll.
I was on my dad's payroll. Now, when the work that I was doing, in a way, I was just doing what daddy was doing. Like he started his oil business. He started Metro Petroleum when I was 8 or 9 years old. And all I know, at one point he worked for Joe Frank Harris when he was a governor, had an office in the Capitol building downtown. And the next thing you know, he started a business, and the business was in oil. And what black man starts an oil company? My daddy.
I love it. I love
and
it.
he was just going through what to me it was just he was doing papers. He was doing his homework, I was doing my homework. And he said, Rick, you can help me with this. And he said, I want you to get all of these papers right here and match up the numbers with the little papers. Now it turns out these were invoices and checks,
Mm,
right?
mm.
And down the road, that's called account reconciliation when it's time to do a resume. But I was doing account reconciliation at 10 years old. Now it turns out when I got to be 12, I had to teach Chuck how to do that. That's my brother. So there
Okay.
was always that model of do a thing, show a thing, work in the family business. The family is a business, right?
Mm.
So I've always had at least two businesses in my home from even when I was in college, I was in business. So
Okay.
that's, I mean, and it's a defining thing, meaning that just that entrepreneurial spirit. And I tell people, you don't have to only be an entrepreneur. You don't only have to own your own business, but every home should have a business.
Every home should have a business. I
Every
love
home.
that.
Because
That's
what
true.
they say, children don't live how you tell them to live. They live how you show them to live. So if all they ever see you do is clapping for what they did, They still don't know how to be you. And at the end of like this whole childhood process, because all my children are now in that adult phase, right? Wayne Dyer had a book, What Do We Really Want for Our Children? And he said the goal for any parent that really understands the mission is for your children to become their own parents, for them to have seen enough of the things that you do for and with them, for them to understand that that's what adulthood is. That's what being a man is.
That is, look, man, you on here dropping gems today, man. Goodness, I'm telling you that's I love that. I love that. That's real stuff though. So having been around that all of your life and doing that, it sounds like you've been in business your entire life. But so was it just a situation where it was this is all I know and it's just been that way, or was it something where it clicked one day and you said, okay, now it's all starting to make sense what was going on previously?
Well, what it did, because I'll say after Duke, that's still formal education and formal training. I did get into corporate America, but with an entrepreneurial eye, if that makes sense. Meaning where most people are content, I'm going to go do my 40 hours, put into the 401k. I was always looking at, well, in addition to this, what can I do for me? So even right now today, still one of the senior technical specialists for Microsoft Dynamics, their business applications group. But I look at that as one of my income streams. And that's what I tell people. If you got a good job, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. But that job's job is to fund your business until your
Right.
business replaces that job.
Can I, you know what? It's funny because, especially now, especially on social media, entrepreneurs have become real snobbish about that 9 to 5 thing. You know, they become real. It's become kind of snobbish. They're like, I'm out here getting on my own, and it's like, what are you doing? And it's like, I understand it because as an entrepreneur, I understand having for self is so much, it's rewarding.
Control, sure.
However, to knock other people who have found a job within corporate America, I think it's it's a little crash.
And I mean, I had to learn. I mean, I'm one of those people because I was in corporate America. And at any point that you're working in someone's corporation and you have some entrepreneurial spirit, there's always going to be some level of discontent. Like I remember I had a friend, he had like 13 different acronyms for job. He was like, you're on your way to that job, right? Journey on the broke. it's jumping out of bed. It's all these things that they would say about jobs. And I'm not one of those people that bash jobs, because in order for your business to grow to a certain extent, eventually somebody else will probably work for you. And that's a job too. Like if your business is going to grow outside of the influence of what you can personally maintain, somebody's going to get a job. So there's nothing to disparage in having a job. Now, only having a job, just in our American financial system, that's actually penalized. I'll just say that. Like one of the best blessings that I have, like in our financial empowerment movement, I tell people all the time, you got a good job is a blessing, but you need a business so you get access to a better tax code. You hear me?
Tax code.
That's what it comes down to. Like when Bill Gates was interviewed, they asked him what the secret to his wealth was. And I was sure that he was going to say something about DOS or Windows or the PC revolution. Brandon, he said there's a precise understanding of the tax code. That's what creates the wealth. And if you think about the formulas, right? Because every way of making money has its own philosophy. Meaning, and we should probably touch on this when it comes to financial success. I have the personal belief that everybody should seek success in every area, academically, emotionally, mentally, professionally, physically, and financially. But when it comes to finances, most of us don't have the blueprint because it's your EBIs. Have you talked about that with your audience already?
No, talk to me about that. But someone went over it the other day, and of course I was on. But explain that to everyone. Yes.
So here's the reason. If you ever hear the phrase "the rich get richer," in America, it's written into the code. It's a part of the syntax, meaning earned income. The money that we make from our jobs is the highest taxed form of income in the American tax code. 28 to 33% for anybody making under $250,000 a year, up to 39%. There was a 39% tax bracket in the US last year. And believe it or not, taxes are at an all-time low. But the first 1/3 of our income goes to taxes, and it's the syntax, it's the formula that kills us. Meaning, if we have a job, when we work, we get taxed first, and we get to spend what's left. That's why they call it after-tax dollars. And we're taught to accept that as the only way that getting paid works. But you know, and I know that earned income, there's a middle tax bracket called business income. With business income, the syntax changes, meaning your business gets to work, your business gets to spend in the form of expenses and gets taxed on what's left.
Right.
So companies like Amazon that went through billions of dollars in revenue, but didn't have any profits left to show, but all of a sudden have a fleet of Mercedes-Benz trucks, were reinvesting their money in their business and leaving little or nothing to be taxed on. Business income gives a working person that buffer to create some financial control. And it doesn't have to be an expensive business. You don't have to, at one point we were obsessed with it. We wanted to own, my dad had an oil company. So at one point we were looking at convenience stores. Then we started calling them stop and robs. We were like,
so no, we're not doing that.
No, that's not our model. That's not the time of day that we're awake.
Yeah.
But I digress. With the business, even a small home business, you can funnel some of your income and lifestyle through the business from your job. So that now things that wouldn't be tax deductible, like my home office, lights, internet, cable, all that stuff. Now we're in the business code where there's some control. But now here's why the rich get richer. Investment income, that's your I. E is earned income, B is business income, I is investment income. Money making money right now is and always has been the lowest tax form of income in America. Capital gains, long-term capital gains is less than 15%. So if you think about it, every time you get paid, you get taxed. Mr. Richie Rich over here that only has investment income, he only gets taxed when he surrenders the asset. He doesn't get taxed every pay period like an earned income, doesn't get taxed every year like a business income. He gets taxed when he surrenders the asset. When the rich people surrender their assets, put this in your notes. Not never, player.
Right.
Not today. The money
we got two words.
Reinvested.
Never.
Yeah, I mean, that's the shift that everybody has to make mentally. Is it is no longer really as impressive to me how much money I make in my job as how much money I make not working, either from passive income in my businesses or from my investments making money without me.
So let me ask you this. Okay. Let's say I would ask, what would you tell a younger Richard, but you already had this thing already figured out. I already know you.
Well, I have a younger Richard. Like I got a son that his name is Richard too. So
all right, let me ask you, okay. A young person, let's say just getting out of college. Okay. Just getting out of college and they are starting fresh, almost getting out the mud almost. What do you tell them in order to become successful, in order to have the sense of freedom? Because everybody thinks that the success is about doing what you want to do or whatever the case, or having all the money. It's really about the freedom.
I'm grown. I'm out here. I'm free.
Yeah, that's what it is. So what would you say to that person who's starting brand new, like hitting the ground running?
So the first thing I would do is I would remind them of the name of the speech that was just given. You just attended a commencement address. It's time to start educating yourself. Like that's a mistake. People get it twisted. They're like, well, Richard, you graduated from Duke. Why are you always reading and going to courses and going to classes? It's because I don't make the mistake of letting my degree get in the way of my education. You hear me? So for that young person, I say the biggest thing college taught you to do was to get a list of subjects, follow a prescribed course of study, and test your knowledge at the end. Now you need to do that on things that matter to you. What do you need to know most about right now? Finance. You need to start your financial education immediately. I don't care if you majored in accounting or economics in school, that didn't teach you your personal money. You need to study goal setting, goal attainment, and visualization exercises so that you can see your way into your future. And you need to begin aggressively investing in you while the only person you have to pay for is you.
True.
Right? All if I could teach, if I could just say those three things, continue, don't stop learning here. That was the books. Because you get out here, you're still in the university. You just graduated from whatever university you were enrolled in, the UHK. That's the University of Hard Knocks. I got my master's from UHK.
Hello.
Learning to earn in order to own. So that's the second thing I would say is think in terms, even when you're young, think in terms of how can I take a portion of all that I earn and put that to work. If you're in the earned income bracket, ain't nothing wrong with it, but your earned income has to earn some money. At least 10% has to earn money for the earner. Make sense? And then start thinking through assets other than, because that's the thing. When you get, if you get a job, it defaults you into only one investment class. That's paper assets in the stock market with a 401k. But you need some land. You need some real assets. You need a business. You need an actual diversified portfolio, not just different mutual funds. Ain't nothing like having 3 rental properties. Pay the mortgage on this house.
Right. Real estate. Real estate.
You gotta get yourself into a position where you're understanding and owning land. Now I know right now this is the scariest thing to me with this economy, is that because I graduated in the late 1900s, the economic way back in Don't Stop, Get It. No. But if you think about the economics of where we are now, I was looking at the property that was my first property I bought. My daughter's looking at buying her first home. She's turning 26 tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
No, Sunday is her birthday. She started looking for homes. She's graduated of University of Alabama, has her degree, and has, kind of one of those starting level jobs, but it's in the arts. Like I was an engineer, like her degrees, they pay different. And she sent me some houses. I was like, these some little houses that they want $200,000 for. But I looked at the house that we bought as the home she grew up in. When I bought that house, I was 2 years out of college, right? Bought it for just under $100,000. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
That house did last year appraised for $325,000. Now, what does that mean in simple terms? It means that as a starting homeowner, she couldn't afford to start in the home she started in. So they have to put aside bigger percentages of money. Everything is costing more, and starting salaries are somewhat flat. What does that mean? Your job probably ain't enough.
Which is where you go to what you were talking about, having something else. Don't rely on just that one job. And you know what? And I already know, listen, I'm gonna have to have you back on here, seriously, because no, I'm serious, because you've just given so much value just in these past 25, 30 minutes. I know everybody's gonna want to have you back on to really hear what you gotta say. And as we wrap it up, quickly here, I just want to say thank you for making time to actually come out here and share your knowledge with us and with the team. And I'm very serious though. Seriously, we're gonna have you back on the show. So let's get that scheduled. Yes, and my brother, thank you so much. All right, and all the best to you. I'll be talking with you soon. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and remember, success is a progressive realization of a worthy goal. Set a worthy goal and get real about making progress.
Oh man, listen, you guys. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Make sure to catch you guys later. Okay, take care. Peace. Hey, what's up? Listen, if you like that video that you just saw, make sure to follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our podcast. That way you get more access to all of our videos, all of our shows, more content. And make sure that you're following us on all social media platforms as well.